News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A man has fallen to his death in downtown Missoula. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning for your Friday, September 26, 2014. And fall, I guess you could say it's officially arrived. It's raining. It's been raining most of the night. It's 53 degrees in Missoula right now. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Temp-Right Service. Got any plumbing, heating, or still air conditioning needs? Call Team Blue, 728-1111. This morning's top story, Missoula Police, Fire Department, and Emergency Services were called out to downtown Missoula just before 6 o'clock yesterday evening for a report of a man that had fallen to his death from the top of the Palace Hotel. Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has details.
Missoula police officers responded to what was reported as a man down on the street at the intersection of Ryman and Broadway. When they arrived, they found a man laying on Ryman Street just south of the intersection of Broadway and observed that he was deceased.
Welsh says some witnesses at the scene actually saw the man fall to his death.
Witnesses at the scene said that they saw him falling apparently from the rooftop of the building there on the southeast corner. However, they did not see how it happened. They saw him falling and they saw the impact.
Welsh said it does not appear that there was any indications of foul play. The victim is a 35-year-old white male. Although police have identified the victim, his name is being withheld pending notification of next of kin. Anyone who may have witnessed the incident has been asked to call the police department at 552-6300. Missoula District Judge Ed McLean said this week that he'll give local media preferential coverage of the Marcus Karma trial over that of national and international media when it begins in December.
My intention as to the national media is they can get their video links from local media, but I'm not going to allow a plethora of cameras in the courtroom. Local media will be allowed to have their cameras in.
Judge McLean said the first 2 days of the trial, December 1st and 2nd, will be for jury selection. Then testimony begins on the 4th day.
The 4th, we will start the trial with opening statements and the state's case in chief. Each side has been given 5 days for the presentation of their case in chief. So you're looking at a 12-day trial, probably at the outside.
Defense attorney Paul Ryan says he and his team are looking forward to having full media so the public can hear in context some of what he termed, quote, both sides of the story, end quote.
The fact that there was baiting going on in this that I think was initiated early on by media sources that we believe is just not accurate. There's nothing that could be seen within that garage that would indicate that there was anything set up for bait. I mean, no different than anyone else's garage in this community.
Karma has been charged with deliberate homicide and has entered a plea of not guilty in the shooting death of German exchange student Darren D.D. The Montana Public Service Commission has given its final approval to PPL Montana's $900 million sale of 11 hydroelectric dams to Northwestern Energy. Yesterday's 4-1 vote was the final step after the commissioner's initial approval earlier this month. The commission had spent 9 months reviewing that deal. A judge in Montana has ordered the State Commissioner of Higher Education, Clayton Christian, to release any records relating to a University of Montana student, Jordan Johnson, accused of sexual assault back in 2012, and to release that information to author John Krakauer. Spokesman Kevin McCrae cited Judge Kathy Seeley's order.
The Commissioner's Office shall arrange to make available for inspection subject to the following conditions. Each and every reference to student name, birth date, social security number, address, and or telephone number must be redacted.
McCrae says, however, that releasing such records presents a risk of violating federal student privacy laws, which could put the university's federal funding at risk.
Would blacking out names truly protect the identity of the student? And that's a good question, that whether we were talking about the student named by Mr. Krakauer or any other of the 12,000 students at UM.
McCrae listed the reasons why the commissioner would not be able to comply.
If the U.S. Department of Education were to tell us that we cannot make it available because it would be a violation of federal law, that's where we would then have to consider whether to appeal the judge's order.
ESPN is reporting that Krakauer has requested and has now been granted access to how the State Commissioner of Higher Education handled the sexual assault case against University of Montana quarterback Jordan Johnson. A Colorado man accused of killing his wife 15 years ago in Montana has been extradited to face a charge of deliberate homicide in the case. Corporal Brian Parentu with the Larimer County Sheriff's Office in Fort Collins, Colorado, says 46-year-old Brian David Laird left the county jail early yesterday. He's been charged in Bighorn County, Montana, with the July 31st, 1999 death of his 28-year-old wife. Missoula School District 1 officials and select guests spent all of yesterday morning on a bus tour, traveling to 4 of the city's oldest schools, most in need of repair or replacement. Spokeswoman Hatton Littman outlined the costs of renovating or replacing one school, that's Lowell School on Missoula's west side, built back in 1909.
Right now, it's projected to cost just about $10,700,000 to renovate the school, and just a little over $11 million if we were to completely rebuild the school on this site. And all of that rolls into a much larger figure that meets that $85 million cap of our bonding capacity in the elementary school district.
Littman says all the schools in the elementary district require some renovation.
This is one of our 9 elementary schools. We also have 3 middle schools that fit into our elementary school district, and to take care of the needs of all 12 of those schools within that $85 million budget cap is significant.
The 4 elementary schools on the tour, Franklin, Russell, Cold Springs, and Lowell, are the showcase for the district's Smart Schools 2020 initiative that eventually hopes to place a bond issue before voters in 2015 that could range from $50 to $85 million. Officials in Lake County have released the name of a 25-year-old man who died in a collision between his car and a flatbed trailer on U.S. Highway 93 between Pablo and Ronan. Undersheriff Dan Yonkin told Jeff Smith at Kerr AM that Andre Dullinger of Ronan died in the crash late Tuesday afternoon. A 57-year-old Texas man faces a federal misdemeanor charge of discharging a firearm inside a national park after he reportedly shot a charging bear with his .357 revolver handgun. Brian Murphy's attorney is scheduled to plead not guilty on Murphy's behalf during a court hearing in West Glacier today. Murphy's scheduled to appear via video. It's illegal to carry a gun in Glacier Park, but it's legal to carry a gun in Glacier Park, but illegal to discharge it. The conviction carries a $500 fine. News Talk time now is 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers. Temperatures will top out right around the 70-degree mark. Winds will be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.